How's it going? This is my rig rundown for March 8th and 9th, or that weekend of 2019. Got a big board. Gonna try and go through it as fast as possible. Not gonna show everything I'm doing with it, but just a little taste of what I got. This is my rig. If I could always have it with me all the time. I've been traveling a lot for work, unfortunately, but I could probably be content with this for the foreseeable future. So yeah, let's get into it. What I'm playing right now, a Partscaster jazz bass, 62 reissue body, Aerodyne neck, Fender Noises pickups, 62 stack kind of configuration. Is it 62 or 61, whatever? But it has a series parallel switch. But for the most part, I'm just going to keep today everything rolled open like a regular jazz bass in parallel. Playing through this old PV bass head, solid state, into a Music Man 210 RH. Alright, so the first pedal on my board is the Digitech bass whammy. Everyone, loves whammy. Really like the octave features on the harmony setting. Really like the 10th setting. And of course using whammy to get crazy here and there. Yeah. Here's a little sneak peek. Nothing really too crazy. But combined with other effects, I might throw like a fuzz and the afterneath on, and maybe one other, delay. And it becomes something really cool, You kind of play to it, and you find these new ideas that you never would have thought of. And everyone needs to hear this 10th setting. After that, we go into my tuner, just a regular snark tuner. You can change the frequency that you tune it to, which is kind of cool. But besides that, it just tunes. Now after that, we got the bass synth wah, one of my favorite pedals, just because it's so ridiculous in terms of how many weird sounds you can make. Love stacking this with fuzz. It just sounds like Mecha Godzilla. I think I was talking to somebody on I think our bass pedals about it like just today. It just is ridiculous. After that, we've got this pedal from Noisemaker Effects, the Soviet. This spot in my board is kind of where I kind of alternate with a couple other pedals. I've got a few other fuzzes that I occasionally throw in the mix. This thing's really cool. It's like an overdrive version of like a Russian muff. So it's like smooth, but it has so much more gain on tap. So I'm burping and the mic. It's got so much more gain on tap, and it's so loud. And it just has a lot of bite to it. Like the closest thing I can compare it to is a muff, if you like I said, if it was more of an overdrive. After that, we go into the Fuzz War, my all-time favorite pedal. Huge Ty Segall fan, huge OC's fan, so I had to get this, and it just rips. It's just killer. It's the Fuzz War. After that, we got the Aqueduct. Usually use it for more traditional vibrato. really like the square wave feature, just because it sounds like like it's something out of Galaga. That's the only way to describe it. It just is a really weird, fun pedal. It does the classic vibrato and it does the weird stuff too. After that, we got the cloven hoof, which is kind of, you know, has that. It reminds me of the Soviet action in a lot of ways, where it's a very bitey, in your face, treble heavy muff, but still retains a decent, like, not even a decent amount of low end, like a lot of low end. So yeah. And I compare it in terms of the other muffs. Like I said, it's a lot more bitey and in your face. Sorry, I'm kind of change the settings here real quick. After that, we got the Earthquaker Devices Afterneath. Super atmospheric, super cool pedal. You know, it's one of those pedals you play to, and it just like, you just go into another world. For sure. You know, I love those delay reverb blenders. After that, we got the Way Huge Green Rhino, my favorite bass overdrive. It retains low end. You have total control over like how you want to accentuate your mid frequencies. Has a ton of gain on tap too. After that, we got the DoD Rubberneck. Really like it as like a regular analog delay, and you have so much customization in terms of how you want to shape your tone, from the gain and tone mix depth. It's everything I want out of an analog delay, and you can get freaky with it into the self oscillation stuff, and as well as the functionality of it is just super easy to use. So from there, we're going to take it up to the next level on the board into the big small stone. Always a big fan of big box electro-harmonic stuff. And I'm always very picky with phasers. And the electro-harmonics phasers seem to kind of nail the simplicity of what I want, as well as like tone-wise. I definitely still want to get a bad stone. Because the small stone, especially this version, I don't know if it's a different circuit, but it seems like it has like that univibe sort of like volume swell dip in and out. And I've had problems with phasers like that in the past, but this does in a way that's very smooth, that I really like. This is with the delay on. And now with the delay off. You can actually hear the effect now. Transitioning into the Russian black Russian big muff. My favorite iteration of the muffs that Electro Harmonix has put out has to be this one. It's smooth. You could use it to, like, I don't know if it like keeps the low end or something, like, or the low mids, but it doesn't feel, it feels less scooped, and it feels hoofier, and like has a little bit more like just character to it than the regular like big box New York City ones, or the Green Russians. I think there's a model of the Green Russian that's the same as the Black Russian, but most of the Green Russians don't sound like this, and it just seems like the unsung hero out of the muffs. Really cool. After that, we got the small clone. I have a Boss CE2B, but this has a lot more. It's just a lot more in your face, a lot more dramatic, which I like out of effects. But of course, the Boss CE2 does the job, but this has a little bit more character to it. After that, we go into the Astronomer by Matthews Effects, and I really started liking shimmer reverb, so I figured I'd get a pedal that only does that. It has a couple different reverb modes. Has delay, a hall reverb, and some other reverb, I forget. But one of the things I like doing with this is setting it into the top and bottom section as the same type of reverb, and switching between the two. So essentially, the pedal is the same circuit but twice. So you can have two different reverbs going on in the pedal at the same time. But what I like to do, like I said, keep them on the same type and bounce in between the settings. So you have a more subtle reverb, and then make it dramatic. And bounce between the two. After that, I go into the Line 6 FM4. Of course, a lot of these Line 6 pedals have a cult personality. That's definitely the same for this one with me. It just makes so many cool noises, so many cool different sounds, and handles low end frequencies pretty well. As you can see, it doesn't handle reverbs in front of it pretty well. But I kind of have it just in between my board right now. I'd probably put it to the front if I actually needed if I wanted to send that into other effects and combine stack effects. After that, we're going to the recently arrived Small Sound Big Sound Team Awesome Fuzz Machine. I have this on the super grinding annoying settings. Shape is super trebly, fuzz and gain are maxed, mids cranked, and the gate mode is on, so it's super zippery. definitely a good purchase. I haven't really gotten too much in terms of the flexibility of it, but it's a very aggressive fuzz, um, and still kind of has a different kind of flavor to my other aggressive fuzz, which is the Fuzz War. After that, we're running into the DD20. Most of the time, I'm using that just to kind of get clean delay sounds, such as. Or using the warp mode and the twist mode just to kind of make some noise and, you know, build drama and just kind of, you know, take it into like more of the noise making kind of field. But yeah, I really like it. You know, I've wanted a DD pedal for a while, and jeez, there we go. And you know, the presets help. There's all the other weird different modes, the tone control. It's, you know, it, and I got it for a pretty good price as compared to, you know, what you would get just for a regular DD7 or whatever. So great buy. After that, we're going into the Aguilar TLC compressor, which I forgot to mention is always on. The other thing that's always on is my Vulcan XL Pike amplification. So this is kind of my bass tone, you know, what I've got. And yeah, I've been struggling to find that like perfect compressor for me for a while. I've used the transparent stuff. I've used the super noticeable squish, and this is like that porridge is too hot, porridge is too cold. This is just right for me. So I can feel the compression and I can hear the compression, and it's got everything I want, you know, in terms of my compressor control. So I don't care too much about the release, but the slope, the attack, the threshold, everything is super customizable to me, or it's customizable enough to where I feel the difference. I can tell, and it makes a difference in my tone. The Vulcan XL I really like as a bass preamp, just because, you know, it takes all my effects and makes everything cleaner in a way. Like everything's more pronounced, everything's more, it's easier to understand, I guess. Things get less muddy with this thing, which is super nice. It's also a little bit more flexible than maybe some of the other Dark Glass stuff. I know the Dark Glass, there's the Alpha Omega pedal, which you can blend between the two modes, and this you could switch between two different modes. And right now I've got it set, I'm more of like a scooped kind of setting, and you can switch it. So this is the scoop setting. You can switch it to more of a low mid. I think they kind of call it like the Epic B15 tone. That's a little bit more darker as compared to what I've got now. But yeah, I think it's super cool. You know, it's a different taste than a little bit of a different taste compared to the Dark Glass stuff, but it still kind of fits that niche of the silver box grind that everybody wants. Yeah, and then after the compressor, going back to our chain, we go into the Fox Pedal Wave, which is a dual delay. I believe it's analog. You can kind of switch between a couple of different modes. It has a wash feature where basically it's like a combination of the warp and twist feature of the DD20, where everything starts to get in your face, but it's very trebly and very annoying. But I like that. So yeah. It also has a built-in reverb, which is super mild, but it's nice to just have a subtle taste, so I'll show that. But again, almost non-noticeable. It also does have modulation features, but they're a little bit harder to get into a more mild settings. fits that same niche as the rubberneck, where you have that noise making kind of capability, but just like it's got different kind of textural tones with the different modes. So we were just in the RE201 mode, and now we're in the, I think it's the Benson mode? Yes, we're now in the Benson mode. This is a little darker, and you know, the warp of the modulation seems to be a little bit more drastic, and also the different modes have different different delay and different delay and repeat kind of times. And then of course there's the wash feature. Again, super annoying and super in your face, but super aggressive. Sort of your horror sounding noisemaking stuff. After that, we go into another noisemaker that I got, Moger Foger Ring Mod. Got this just as they announced that they were going to stop making pedals. So I'm surprised at the price I got it, but you know, I knew I wanted a Moog pedal, and this is definitely the one I want to keep. You know, it just does all the weird stuff. You can get that subtle kind of tremolo settings, but I've got a tremolo for that. After that, we go into the ambient noises. Is it ambient noise? Ambient note, my bad. I can't read it from here. Ambient note limited edition by, I think it's Midnight 30. Yeah, Midnight 30 music. And it's kind of got like a sort of a tape echo degradation to it. So I would say it's kind of like a tape repeater sort of thing. But it also has a sort of rubberneck feature where you can kind of change the rate as you're playing the delay. The one thing I noticed about this, even when you start to max the regen and the mix, it's still pretty subtle. So if you just want like a nice little touch of tape delay, like this is the perfect pedal for it. After that, we go into the Old Blood Noise Endeavors Dark Star, which is another one of my favorite pedals just because it's so ridiculous in terms of the sounds you can make. All modes are super cool to use. Right now I've got it set to where using the hold feature maximizes the reverb, and doing so allows you to basically create a pad of whatever you put into it. So I can play, you know, a chord underneath everything, turn the hold function on, hold it there, and then start to play over it. Really cool. That was on the delay setting. I'll put it on the pitch setting, and what happens is each one of the top knobs controls up to down an octave or up an octave. And since the Astronomer already does the shimmer reverb with the higher octaves, I like to use this to send everything down and play high up on the neck, but then the reverb only goes to your, like a lower frequency, which is really cool and really eerie. And finally, the glitch mode. starts to get into that weird noise making territory, especially combined with some other weird delay or ring mod. After that, we go into the Lone Wolf Audio Left Hand Wrath. I've had an HM2 for a little bit, wanted some sort of clone that was an upgrade, and this does it. The clipping options are cool. You start getting into fuzz territory, and it's cool to have this at the end of your chain, especially for the shoegaze fans out there. You could run your delays and reverb into this thing, keep some of your clean blend in, and it's just incredible. HM2 kind of pedals seem to always have some clarity to them to me, but this does it with a lot more gain, and the clean blend which is like, keeps your signal intact so your reverbs can come through while still adding dirt. But typically I like to use it on bass as sort of that stoner rock overdrive into distortion territory for those, trudging along triplets. Really cool, and super flexible tone wise. You get that mid boost, you get the presence knob, again you get the clean blend, and it just has so much more gain than a regular HM2 does. Finally, at the tremolo pan Boss PN2, I've used the pan feature occasionally for recording the EP I'm working on, but as a tremolo, it's Juan Alderete is right. This thing chops super hard, no matter what you send into it. It's got to have some sort of volume or boost when you turn it on, because it makes up for the deep cuts with, like, it's got to be gain or something. It just keeps everything that you're sending into it intact and super loud and aggressive. So like I said, it's super loud. Not the pedals loud, but it keeps your volume going through it even as it's getting chopped up. So yeah, that's my rig. This is what I would love to have with me at all times. I feel like I can make so much with this. The only thing I think I could change, the Soviet pedal, it's in the spot where I seem to be doing the most amount of changes. I switched like a different fuzz pedal in there. I've got some other things, kind of in reserve. I've got an old Electro Harmonics graphic fuzz, Devi Ever fuzz, and some other, I've always got something weird to pull out of the back pocket. I got a Rat I've been kind of meaning to throw in there, but again, the Team Awesome Fuzz Machine seems to nail that grinding sort of distortion tone or fuzz tone that I'm getting from the Rat. Besides that, any other changes I think I need to make? If I can find some cool fuzzes or some cool delays, I'll grab it. But I think, I've been working on so much new music. Not so much new music, but the effects I've been using are super motivating in terms of what I want to write and what I've been writing, that I'm pretty content in terms of the bass bulk stuff of what I have. I think if anything, I think I need to get, maybe a different bass or a different guitar. But besides that, I'm pretty content. I definitely need a guitar head though, because right now I'm just rocking 2 bass heads. And typically when I do use the Jag, I'll swap out the Vulcan for a cattle and bred SFT. But that might need to be sold, considering the legal scumminess of cattle and bred recently. But besides that, yeah, this is my rig rundown. Thanks for watching.